Hello, this is Ebonygeek. You're always welcome to join me in expanding your knowledge base. Comments are always welcome, and please subscribe. Kind of just focus on the configurations, and there's not that many more to go. So let's go ahead and finish up those configurations for Eclipse, because now we have our Arduino buttons and they're set. We have our AVR and it's set. So let's go ahead and go up to our top menu for Arduino. So let's make sure to click on Eclipse so that it's registering as Eclipse here, and go to the top menu, and as you can see, also our Arduino selection is there, our AVR selection is there, so everything looks promising. Let's go ahead and click on Window. Let's click on Preferences. Okay, we now have our Arduino, we now have our AVR, so good. So let's go ahead and click on Arduino, and as you can see, it has, let's see, home, okay, so it actually preset what my library path would be and what my hardware path would be, and I guess that's okay. Okay, I just, if it said root, and sometimes it do say root here, I wouldn't want it to be in my root, but this is fine. So the only thing we have to set here, and it's very important because you can't do nothing else until you set it, and it had to be set to the right place. As you can see, the apply OK button here, we have to set our Arduino IDE path, which is very simple. We will go to Browse. Anytime you see that slash, you know that's your root. If you see computer, you know that's your root. If you see file system, that's pretty much your root. So go ahead and click on this slash here. That's why I said file system. As you can see, it's the little icons. Any case, let's go ahead and click on op, because remember that's where our Eclipse application is, and click in Eclipse because that's where our Arduino is. Here where our Arduino is, we just want to select it. All we have to do is select it because that's the path to our Arduino. Now that we chose Arduino, all we have to do is click on that OK button here. That's our path to Arduino. The system knows it's right, because if it was a wrong path, these two buttons wouldn't highlight and you wouldn't be able to go any further. So go ahead and click on apply. It's going to give you a warning, you are a version, yeah, okay. So I'm going to go yes, and then okay, and it's going to tell you again, and I'm going to go yes. We're good. Our next thing, let's go back into Window, let's go into Preference. We have our Arduino path set. Okay, click on your AVR. What you have to worry about here is the paths. They should be already added. They should be pre-populated. And they actually have a different path than I'm used to seeing. We're going to assume that it's correct, so we're going to go ahead and click on apply. We're going to click on OK. What we're going to do is test it. If it texts correctly, then that means we're good. As far as looking at it, it seems like we're almost done. Okay, so what we're going to do at this point is make sure that your Arduino Uno is plugged in. You could go up to your top ribbon, you could click on File, New, Other, then go down to Arduino and click on New Arduino Sketch, and Next. You could do it like that, okay, or you could do it like this. Go to your Project Explorer, which is saying Workspace, but it's Project Explorer. Right click in this pink area or red area, or however you want to see it. Right click in it. Select New, select Other, Arduino, and New Arduino Sketch. That's the one I'm going to do. That's the way I always prefer to do it. You will have your project name, and I would say Blinky 1. Next. This is actually one of the times that you're beginning to make sure that you're on the right track. What you're doing is, this line is important, boards.txt file. What you want specifically is at the end, Arduino AVR boards.txt. There's another option. It's Arduino sound boards.txt. You don't want sound. You want AVR. Okay. Now, if you do choose sound, it'll lead you to probably think you're doing something wrong when you choose board, because you only get those two options. DUE is normally for the, what do they call it? The Dumilinove. It's actually a board, and it's the board that was before one of the predecessors to the Uno. In any case, Sam is wrong, because you could actually choose that from AVR. So just choose AVR to make your life a whole lot easier when dealing with this. As long as you got your Arduino AVR boards.txt, you're good. Go down the board, and you want to make sure to click the right board that you have. When I click on this, you're going to see the multitude of boards you can use. This is the one I was talking about, the Dumilinove, the decimal, whatever that is. I'm not good with that name, so I have Leonardo, I have a Mega 2560, I have a Mini, and I have a Uno. So you have quite a few that you could choose from. Robot control, robot motor. Arduino is very good for robotics. If you want to get into that, I'm actually getting up to that. For now, we're going to go Arduino Uno, because that's what I have. If this port that we have showing already in our, okay, let's see here. So this is why it's good to have this particular IDE around. Also, don't think that you'll just be using the Eclipse without the Arduino IDE. It's just good to have this one up as well, so that you're working with two different things, and if you have any issues, you can see what the problem may be within the actual IDE. This IDE here has the port number right there. It also has the board. It's telling you information right there in that little bitty space. That's very important for this window. Let's see here. Let's see if we can actually have it visible right at the bottom. When we click on here, if we have a port number there, we're great. So clicking on it, there you go. More than likely, everything is set up nice just by how that worked. So when you click on next, I would normally click on finish right now, because this is set up just the way it's supposed to be. I would just click finish, because the two windows that you go to afterwards, I really don't mess with nothing in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on finish. Okay, and then we'll be able to start running some test code to see if we're good. Okay, so when it come up, what you're gonna see is the Blinky project that I created. When you make another project, and let's make another one real quick, all of your projects are going to be created in your workspace. So when you make another project, okay, so we're going new, other, we're going new Arduino sketch, we're going project name, let's make it something simple, Blinky2, if we could spell it right. Okay, finish. As you can see, it's in Blinky2. Notice, did you see that? We just titled what the project was going to be. It's just stating, okay, well, it's going to be the same board and it's going to be on the same port, so you don't even have to fill that out. So as long as it's the same kind of board and the same port, is the way I'm taking it, then it's just going to put it right there in your workspace, right? If you were working on a different board like the Leonardo, like say I wanted to do some work with the Leonardo, create a different workspace for it. Okay, so with that said, we have two projects. Okay, so every other project you do is going to be within this workspace, unless you want to just start all over and create another workspace. So just so you know, when you make a new project, it's going to be in this workspace, but it's not necessarily related to this one unless you specifically make it. So let's go to this first one. As you can see, it's kind of got a tree. Okay, so and notice it's not a .ini file as a sketch from this Arduino would be. It's actually .h.cpp files. That's something you will realize even when you're importing into Arduino, is that those files are C++ files and header files. They'll have an example with them, and they'll have a keyword .text with them as well, even when you're exporting into the actual Arduino IDE. So this is just following what the imports and all that. Arduino's code is C++, and that's what we're showing here. So we'll be having .h files and .c++ files. We'll be uploading it to Arduino and it'll work fine. So these first two files that I created with the project is pretty much your main files or your driver files. The header file for these particular files that I created when you make the project, you're not going to be putting too much into this particular header file. All you're going to be putting in is includes. That's all. It have a specific place you want you to put it in, and it says it right here. Add your enclose for project Blinky whatever. Other than includes that you want, you're not going to be adding anything else in here. It says add your function definitions for the project and everything. I guess you could add prototypes. Notice I said function prototypes. But other than that, I wouldn't add anything but includes in this file. Okay, and that's includes from another library or something like that. Most of your coding is going to be in your .cpp, which I'm bringing up now. This is your .cpp file where most of your coding is going to be. It's already included in the header file. What I will add is, and I will add it over this particular header file, it added by itself. Just because I know that I normally do it like this. So I will add another include, and this is the include that's included in the header file, and that's the Arduino. header file. Okay, so just as you saw here, okay, if you notice, that's the required setup file, that's the required loop file. They're both there. Okay, so this brought up automatically the required files. Now if you notice in the Arduino IDE you see comments. If you notice in the Eclipse you see comments. Arduino is very big on comments, and I suggest that you follow suit and be very big on comments too. Okay, so with that, and I probably talked a lot too much, let's go ahead and get this sample code ran and see if our project is working, which I'm sure it is. Okay, so just to work with the screen real estate here. Okay, bring this up a bit. Now this bottom pane shows problems and it shows console. I'm going to click on console because I'm going to be betting we don't have no problems. And so since our microprocessor is already plugged in, we can actually save our file. Okay, and we're going to choose Blinky 1. Okay, if you notice when we choose Blinky 1, most of the buttons there for the Arduino became active. We're going to verify it first, so let's click on the verify button. Your status is down here. Automatically I know it's working because of all the code running. If it wasn't working, it wouldn't even be building those files. So we're good on verify, which pretty much tells you this code is good. Okay, and if you notice, let me do this. Okay, if you notice, see our code that we have not verified compared to our code that we have verified. It's showing that this code has ran. It's good. Okay, so when we upload, it should upload fine. So let's go ahead and click on the arrow to upload it. We have the blinky 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 on the Uno, and we're good. We have a running application, folks. I hope that your application is running just like mine. If you followed the steps that I showed you, it should be. If you have any questions, comments, advice, do not hesitate to send me a comment. If you feel like I did a good job, please subscribe and follow my tutorials. With that, we'll say happy coding and have a nice day. I am Ebonygeek, and I hope that the information provided has been helpful to you. Please remember to subscribe. Happy building and happy coding.